More like Unluckin' Coffee. Sorry. Thursday, April 2nd, 2020. Pre-market, everything was about Luckin' Coffee because of investigation, basically fraud or something, cooking the books, basically. And so there's an investigation, and you could see it dropped a ton in the pre-market. These are the ones that the spread was not bad. The spread was not bad. You probably could have taken a short at any point around here. You see it bounced a little bit around 832. Um, but like, if you kept your stop like far enough, basically VWAP, you probably would have been all right. But that's a lot. Look, I mean, it started out at $27 and it went all the way down to, I think the low of the day is what, like 490, or no, three something in the pre-market, and then it came back up. But it was, yeah, this was a tough one. You probably could have played a bounce too, and it got halted a ton right after the open. So Luck and Coffee was just all over the place. But I didn't trade it. I was thinking about it, but I just knew it could blow up in my face, especially since these are the kind of trades that you got to be careful. Sometimes they can put a halt on. They can actually freeze trading on a stock for months, literally months. Some stocks just don't open back up again if there's a significant investigation of some kind. There are plenty of examples out there that you can find. So this just seemed like a little iffy to me. But if you were to trade it, you really should trade in the pre-market because it wasn't going to halt in the pre-market. It wasn't. There was no SSR restriction in the pre-market, so you could have gotten this. I know people were hopping in and out for about $1 at a time. I mean, really, you could have just chopped in anywhere and ridden it down. I just, it's tough. It's a tough one to play. I traded early. I traded MU, and I got stopped out. And you can see here it wasn't much volume, but it's always in pre-market, and it's always on my list because I just trade it so well, and it's a pretty decent mover most of the time. But here I saw jumping up after the open, the red candle, but then it rebounded, and it couldn't get above the 200 moving average on this 1 minute chart. But then it held VWAP here, and I thought, oh, this is going to be another bounce up. But this is ugly. This is not. I should not have traded this like this, and I got stopped out right away. I made my stop pretty tight. It was above VWAP because I was expecting a surge here, and I didn't get it, so I got out. Small loss, no big deal. But you can see what it did after that. Once it came back and broke VWAP again, held it. This is the move you want to see. Two-bar pullback here, a couple green bars, and then a surge up. That's where I should have gotten in. 40.14, I could have put my stop just below 40. Really, like 15-cent stop. And at 40.14, you could have ridden it all the way up to 41. It's basically $1.50. So I misplayed that one, but I made up for it with HSBC, which was when I show you on the daily chart. You can see HSBC was gapping down, and it's moving down like everything else, but it had a big gap down yesterday, and then it gapped down again. I think it closed yesterday, what, 25.14, so in the pre-market it was around 24, so I said not much volume, but it was a significant gap, and that always makes one of my gapping lists. So here I saw it break VWAP. I didn't have the guts to pull the trigger here when it broke VWAP because I didn't think it had enough volume. Then it moved up, and once it started kind of holding this little flag action, I actually got in before it broke the 200 on this 1 minute chart. And I got in at 24.42. I partialed out a little about 24.57, so 15 cents above my entry. It wasn't my 2R. I waited through this little sideways action until I got to my 2R at 24.66. I just did this to lock in profit, and then I moved my stop up to my break even because I was still not sure that it was going to be able to hold that. So I got in, got out a little bit, moved my stop up. That way I was good to go. If it fell back down, I was at least had a little bit of a profit on this one. But it held it and moved up more, got a little bit more out at my 2R, and then I let it run through my 3R. I wanted it to get to 4R, and it hit it. 24.90 was my 4R, and I took everything else out at 24.90, and then this drop happened. So I was really happy I got out when I did because I was literally the minute after I got out, boom, drop. I think a lot of people were looking at that too. Even though it still has room to run up to yesterday's close at around 25.14 or whatever I said, or 24.14, 25.14, still has room to get up there. I just did not have confidence in it at that point because it was moving so much. Plus, it's basically been a proxy for the SPY. I've been, most stocks today I've been trading. The last few weeks have been SPY proxies. They just, if the SPY is moving up, I take and the stock's moving with it, I use that as a proxy. So you can see this movement is very, very similar to what HSBC was doing. But with HSBC, because of that gap, I felt like it had I could, if the SPY did run, then HSBC would have had a chance of making a bigger move, and it kind of did. So I was very, very happy with this. Made up for my loss, and that was it. And my other trade was the other trade that I did not take was AMD. I put a little arrow where I wanted to get in at the 1 minute opening range break, and I missed this little surge. Came back down again, very whippy. So this would have been a scalp play. Would have just been moving my stop up really, really tight with it. But I missed that, and instead I took MU, which looked a little bit more solid here, and it turned out to just stop me out here. So, but that was it. HSBC Luckin was insane. Good, congrats to anyone who made their week, month, or year by trading it in the pre-market. We'll see what happens to it down the road, but yeah, that was a crazy one. So I'll be back hopefully tomorrow with another trade.